everyone. Welcome to episode 56 of the podcast, and I remain your host, Tomobi. For today, I say to you, Dumela, that is hello in Setswana language of Botswana. For today's episode, I will share a few updates about the AfCFTA. So let's go right into it. So the first one, as some of us may be aware, the African Union Summits 2023, which had the theme the year of the AfCFTA, acceleration of the AfCFTA implementation, was concluded a few days ago. The summit was concluded a few days ago, and at the summit, member states of the AfCFTA were urged to double the spirit of Pan-Africanism, solidarity and brotherhood by accelerating the operationalization of the AfCFTA. That means state parties are urged to take all actions and steps necessary to accelerate the implementation of the AfCFTA. The next update is the ratification of the AfCFTA by 3 more member states. So the Union of Comoros, Republic of Botswana, and Mozambique have ratified the AfCFTA agreement. So as of today, we have 47 states that have ratified the AfCFTA agreement and 54 countries that have signed the agreement. So we have 54 countries that have signed and 47 countries have ratified the AfCFTA agreement. Congratulations to Comoros, Botswana, and Mozambique. The third interesting news that I have today is the national identity card to be used for cross-border travel between Namibia and Botswana. So there was a press release by the Republic of Botswana that an MOU will be signed by Namibia and Botswana to allow the nationals of their countries to use national ID cards for cross-border travel between the two countries. So that means that Namibians and Botswana nationals can travel between their countries by the use of national ID cards once the MOU has been signed. And this is, of course, one of the objectives of it, to eliminate barriers to free movement of goods, services, and the people. And of course this will promote trade between the two countries and also ensure safe and orderly migration. Congratulations to Botswana and Namibia. This is a step in the right direction. So in another news, the Council of Ministers responsible for trade had a meeting on between the 11th and 12th of February 2023. The Council of Ministers, one of the decision-making authorities for the AfCFTA, so the African Union, the Assembly is the highest decision-making authority. Then the Council of Ministers, the report to the Assembly. Then we also have the Committee of Senior Trade Officials who report to the Council of Ministers, and of course the AfCFTA Secretariat. So the Council of Ministers had a meeting on the 11th to 12th, and some of the decisions reached. One of it is that the Special Economic Zones regulations that was adopted to enable goods that are produced under Special Economic Zones to also qualify for preferential treatment under the rules of origin if the goods meet the rules of origin criteria. So some countries have some Special Economic Zones arrangement. We have the free trade zones, and also any goods that are produced there, you also qualify for preferential treatment under the rules of origin criteria if the goods meet the pre-qualification criteria. And also at the meeting, the AfCFTA automotive strategy was launched as well as a living document of the AfCFTA. That's to enable equitable participation of all state parties in the automotive industry value chain once the AfCFTA is fully implemented. If you listen to my podcast, that's the past 3 episodes, I had just finished doing a review of the World Economic Forum on some sectors that have high potential opportunity, and the automotive industry was one of the sectors highlighted with potentials for investment in the AfCFTA. So I think so this is of course very important. The strategy is really important, and say kudos to the Council of Ministers responsible for trade for that. And finally, for our Nigerian audience, if you're not aware, Mr. Olusegun Awolowo was recently appointed, that's this year, by President Muhammadu Buhari as the Secretary of the National Action AfCFTA. So Mr. Awolowo is the new Secretary of the National Action Committee of the National Action Commission on AfCFTA in Nigeria. So this is where we end it for today's podcast. And as usual, the podcast is for educational purposes only. If you need to discuss more, would like to speak more on it, please reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm Omobola Adekola. So from next week, I'm going to also start a review on a report released by a professional services industry for professionals within their industry. But until then, I say to you, bye-bye.